being an entrepreneur sounds cool, but the reality of building a business is very, very difficult. Every level that you hit, there's a lot of things that suck that you just won't want to do. What you're capable of is on the other side. I don't feel like it.
And if you're committed to what it is that you're trying to do, nothing is going to stop you from getting there. Welcome back to another episode of Real Business Owners with myself, Trevor Cowley. Today's guest, we've got Shaun McClure. Me and Shaun have a little bit of history.
A good history.
A good history, yeah.
Back a little ways.
Probably 10 plus years, maybe even more than that.
Oh, CB.
When did you start working at CBF? It was probably
13 years ago.
13 years ago, something like that. I will say this about Shaun. Shaun has worked at one of our companies on and off over the last 13 years or whatever it may be, and he's always been a hard worker. Always showed. You remember the time that you came to get a job, and I said no because you smoked. You remember that?
Yeah, I got the job.
Yeah, you did get the job. I think you did quit smoking. I don't know. Maybe for a couple weeks, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you were smoking at home or before or whatever, at lunch break or whatever. But it got to the point where I was just like so sick of people. And then somebody would come in from a smoke break. Somebody's headed out for a smoke break, and they're like, "Bro, let's have a smoke."
Right.
That they just came in from a smoke break, and they're like, "All right, I'll have another smoke." And so I was just like, "Dude, I can't do it no more. I need you don't smoke it no more."
I mean, I still got my vape, but like I can't stand the smell of cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's been like 3 years.
Yeah. So anyways, he was an absolute hustler. Anytime we checked dial reports, he was a great salesperson. Did very, very well for us and for himself when he was a sales guy for us. And he ended up leaving. What was it? Did you go work in the oil field? Is that why you were left originally?
I think I just needed something more secure. I got myself talked into a real stableness. I think I went in.
You didn't want to ride the wave of sales.
Didn't want to roll no more.
1 week crush it, next week stressing
out.
You always did better than most people though. That was on the sales floor. So, what happened with that? You left. I thought you were going to leave to go drive truck in an oil field or something like that. Because I know Darren that worked for us did the exact same thing.
But yeah, I went and worked with Darren for a little while up in North Dakota. I still ended up doing that. I went up to the oil field.
Okay.
Went and got my CDL.
Yeah.
Got chased that oil field money.
Yeah.
Got my CDL. Started a trucking company. Well, me and my buddy started a trucking company. We did that for a little while. And then the prices of driving truck got crazy. So we got out of driving truck. And then I came home. But I mean, I've done windmill blades. I've done all oversized stuff, oil field stuff.
I talked to Darren one time. He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm making decent money, or whatever." But he's out there constantly and working long hours and all this stuff. And I was like, "Bro, have you ever divided like what you make by the amount of hours that you're working?"
It's not.
And I'm like, "Bro, if you were making like 60 grand a year at 40 hours a week, and then you got a part-time job on this, you might be able to make exactly what you're making out here in the oil fields driving truck, but actually be able to be home at night, or whatever." Because he was kind of bragging about that. And I was like, okay, well, what's the exchange that you're making to make that type of money, right? And some people don't really. Lots of hours. Like
I know I was pulling like 18-hour days.
Yeah.
19-hour days.
Exactly.
4 hours of sleep, get up, do it again.
Yeah. So I was just like, dude, that's like, if you factor it, yes, you're making good money, but by the time you factor the hourly wage plus being gone all the time, all this stuff, it was like, it really wasn't anything that crazy. Anybody can make good money if you're working 18-hour days.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It doesn't matter where you're working at, right?
Just look good at the end of the time you were.
Yeah,
gone.
when you looked at the check and
gone for 6 weeks, home for 2.
Yeah,
have a nice little bank account set up.
So what made you leave doing that? Was it just
it died? At that point in time, the money died down. It wasn't worth being away from the family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you decided to come home, start your own trucking company.
I actually joined a buddy. He had a buddy. We had a couple buddies that started. It was Red River Trucking back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a little over-the-road thing. We did it all over the U.S., did that back and forth, started with a step deck, and then started getting heavy haul. Started doing that, and then the prices got too.
So that's when you made the transition to start your own thing and be more local?
Yeah. Well, no, there's years of that. So I did that for a while, and then we ended up leasing on with another company and then doing like windmill blades and all the big heavy haul stuff. And then that died down. And then that's when I came home. And then I actually drove local for a guy here in town for a few years, which was pretty cool. But driving in town, big truck,
Shitty.
dude, I'm over it, bro.
Yeah.
So tired of driving trucks.
So that's when it was just, I'm done. I need to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Was that like a lingering thought for a long time when you were out there?
I wanted to start my own thing, you know what I mean? But I was like, what's my niche? You know what I mean? Like, what can I do that I'm already good at? You know what I mean? That I have value to or whatever. So I thought, you know, junk removal would be cool.
Okay.
But then it's like you start that and it's like every 16-year-old with a trailer has something they can haul for like $0 on the, you know what I mean? So it's hard to get.
They don't have a family and, you know, some of that stuff. So they can
extra
cheap.
Yes. You got people that are coming in like way cheap. So it's like, you know, I know what my value is. I know what I need to be able to run everything. So I mean, I put everything I had into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tried it.
What did you have to do to start it? Like buy a truck and buy a truck?
I already had the truck. I was
Yeah.
trying, that's what the one thing I was trying to do is use what I already had. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I bought a trailer. I had a buddy that had a dump trailer that let me use it every once in a while, but it was just more of a, what can I do with what I already have? So it wasn't bad starting that off. It was just, you know, regular licenses, logos, whatever. And then just trying to put yourself out there as much as possible.
Okay. So what's like, when you started that, what was the most difficult thing about the first 6 months or the first 12 months of doing that?
Consistency. Just trying to find enough to keep, you know, just
Keep money coming in, stay busy.
It was unstable. It was like.
So did you have a savings account, little nest egg kind of saved up when you did it? Or did you say, hey,
and I started off my personal credit. So that's where I went into it. I was like, well, I've got this, you know, because I had decent credit. So I used my personal credit with the cards that I already had to invest into myself, into that, floated the bills for a little while, just put everything I had into that. And for a minute, it was good. And then the holidays hit and then it just died. Nobody wanted to move anything. Nobody wanted anything hauled off. So it was kind of slowed down, you know what I mean?
So what, like spring, when people are doing spring cleaning, it's kind of busier and then...
It's hit and miss, you know what I mean? Like it seems like the first of the year, everybody wanted to move into their new house. So I had a couple moving jobs, you know, it was kind of decent, you know, stayed busy. But with the holidays, it just...
So what is it that you do now? Everything that you do now?
Everything. So
everything you do. He's got like 80 services, you know.
Not really. It's more of just like a home-based service business. Dude, one thing that gets me into a house, then I can upsell on something else, you know. So I do windows and then like solar panels, but I'll help. I'll do your gutters, like any home service, all the stuff that you don't want to do.
Clean gutters?
Yeah, I'll clean gutters. Yeah, you go up there and clean your gutters.
Get all the leaves out and stuff.
And that, you know, that was pretty decent. I got a couple good jobs off of that when the time was right, but that's not a year-round thing. So it's more of a, how can I help you? You know what I mean? More of a situation I've gotten myself into now. And I have a few little old ladies that I love working with. They need help doing everything. I've cleaned her pond. I've helped fix her pond. You know, do just whatever I can do to help people out.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's turned into. But like windows is kind of what I'm doing now. Like washing windows, solar panels. I still help people move. I just did that this morning. You know what I mean? It was a nice little helping somebody move, but it's just whatever I can do to help you that makes me money. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Do you feel like that is hurting your actual business to a certain extent, where you're not completely niched down and saying, hey, this is who I am and this is what I do?
Probably.
That you're like almost spread too thin, but you're in a situation where it's like, hey, right now, this is... If it brings in money,
right?
I got bills to pay, you know, loans or whatever that need to be taken care of. So is that kind of your thought process?
I kind of try to just bring in money. So that's my thought process as far as it goes. I mean, I probably could niche it out to one thing and focus on that, which was what I've kind of done with the windows. So that's kind of my niche where I'm focusing on now, because I have all the stuff to do that. All the equipment's already bought and paid for. Now I just got to keep it updated. You know what I mean? The filters that I have, like, because they're not cheap.
So did you, so when you first started and it was just mainly junk removal, you've had to buy additional shit in order to do some of this other stuff?
I got a big trailer. I got a 16-foot enclosed trailer that I kind of use for junk and moving people. Mm-hmm. That was my thing, but now it's more of it hauls all my stuff. Like I've got big ladders, filters, pressure washers, you know what I mean, that I use on a regular basis. So all of it just kind of goes in the trailer. And then when I need it for moving people or whatnot, I just kind of pull everything out and I already have it.
Yeah.
So right now, all my stuff that I have that I need to do stuff with it's already bought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I just got to stay busy.
So Shaun went in and it made the investment to go do his own thing. Obviously, when you're in startup mode and startup phase, it is going to be inconsistent, and that's the toughest time, especially if you have a family and you've got bills to pay. And so Shaun came back to work at 60-day credit repair. And we only work Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday.
That's why it's ideal, because I can still
do Friday, Saturday, Sunday stuff. What time do they get off over there? 6. So do you ever do stuff kind of in the evenings?
Every once in a while, if I have like a small window job or whatever, I'm like, I'll stop by tonight and go knock it out real quick. Because it doesn't, if you know what you're doing, it doesn't take very long.
Was that tough for you to say, hey, I started this business, now I need to go back to work and kind of do the business on the side, like in terms of like,
it's kind of kicking.
Did you have to wrestle with that quite a bit?
Oh yeah, I did. I probably should have went back to work a little sooner than I did, you know what I mean? But I was still trying to make it happen. I wanted it to pop, like, let's stay busy. How do I make this stay busy? So I'd, Facebook, Instagram, flyers. I hit pavement, handed out flyers, all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean? Just to try to make it work. But there's, the bills keep coming.
Yeah.
And if that money's not coming, then you just got to get off the pot.
Yeah. Make the adjustment. Now that you've worked for other people and you have your own thing, has your perspective shifted at all in any way, shape, or form?
I respect the value of owning your own business. It ain't easy. You know what I mean? Like, it takes, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that you hope comes out that doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
You gotta respect the process.
Yeah.
So that's why even stepping back and getting back into sales, like, I know I'm good at it, and it still fluctuates. It's highs and lows, but it's...
you make good money. You make good money for a 4-day work week.
You can't complain.
Yeah, if you can pull in a check that's a couple grand,
that makes it nice.
In 4 days, it does make it nice. And obviously that makes sure that the bills are paid, and then you could keep money in the business, try to start running ads. Have you ever thought about...
Oh, I've put more money than I probably should have into some of these Facebook ads that didn't do nothing. You know
really?
What I mean? So yeah, like there was one ad I put out for like my January special or something. I think I threw like $500 into that for a month. And I got a lot of views. You know what I mean? It was seen by...
What'd you do? Just boost a post, or did you actually run an ad?
So it was like...
My guess is you did it your damn self.
I did, yeah. So that was the thing. It's all trial and error, bro. I'm learning. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you want a result, sometimes you got to go to the pros.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what I'm learning. It's still a learning process for me.
Usually the cheapest route that you go down is going to be the most expensive or the most costly, right? And it's like, well, I'll throw $500 at it. But if you're doing it yourself and you don't fully know what you're doing, you're kind of just
fishing.
Crossing fingers, throwing money off a cliff and hoping, more blows back at you, So I would highly suggest, if you're ever going to run ads again, is making sure that you're working with somebody that is familiar with that, knows how to target this, that. In your industry, like, it would be considered like blue collar work, right? Your best bet is probably Google ads.
Yeah.
Not Facebook ads. Because you want somebody to type in what it is that you do, meaning that they like... Facebook is like you're just waving your hands to a bunch of people saying, hey, look at me, this is what I do, hoping that they have a need for your service. And there's certain industries that works very well for, and there's other industries that it doesn't work very well for. I'm a big proponent of anybody that's blue collar. If you're doing any of that stuff that's kind of like niche down, if you're like HVAC or whatever, like, dude, if you ran Facebook ads for air conditioning or whatever, maybe in the summertime in a couple months when people are going to have problems with their unit, it might work. Right. But you want people to go to Google and type in junk removal, and then you bid on that keyword, right? And so your name comes up when they type in junk remover or window washing. Your name comes up. I got a guy I can connect you with that's super affordable. But when you're talking about certain niches, you want to make sure that somebody has the need and they're looking for that, so that you can get in front of them at that time, rather than just trying to have everybody in the whole
hope it pops.
It's like the difference is it's like going to a honey hole where there's fish,
fishing with the wrong bait, you ain't gonna catch nothing.
Versus, you got trout bait on, but you're, trying to catch a bass or something like that. It's just two totally different worlds. So obviously ego doesn't really pay bills, right? And so it's like sometimes you got to check your ego and be like, yo, this is what I need to do right now as I'm building something else.
Right. Yeah.
And that's kind of where you're at right now.
Yeah.
And the reason why I thought it would be great to have you on the podcast is because, one, there's a lot of business owners that might feel like that they're doing it wrong, or feel like that they let their family down, or maybe I'm not cut out for this. When in reality, it's just business is that hard, which is going to make you have doubts naturally about certain things. Have you had those same experiences?
Like there's always that thought in the back of your head, like, are you just wasting your time?
Yeah.
Like it's not working.
Is this ever going to pan out?
But I mean, it's slowly starting to pan out. Like I'm landing contracts for windows, so now I have consistency. That was the big thing too.
Like monthly, hey, I'll come by. Or
I'll come by. Why? That's the thing that I probably should have added sooner, but I was trying to get out there to get people to know me first. I guess I don't know. Like I was working with a lady that was doing a bunch of new construction stuff, and that just fell through. Like it should have been great. You know what I mean? It was all panned out. It was great, and then it just wasn't. You know what I mean?
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
It's like, dude, you're riding a high 1 minute where it's like, dude, I've locked this thing down. Everything's going to be good. And the next thing you know,
it just didn't.
Something doesn't work out or pan out like you thought it would.
The picture got painted real good. You know what I mean? But when
you were chatting and when it was time to really put that rubber to the road,
it didn't pan out. So I was like, no, this ain't going to work. I'm not going to do this.
What, because they were just being way too cheap about it, or just trying to hassle with you?
There was a lot of big buildings, you need booms and stuff to use to get up high.
Like on second, third stories.
And then even in the beginning conversations, it was like, well, that's not something that I have access to, or we're going to work something out. And like, oh yeah, when that time comes, it works out. But when that time came to where something had to be worked out, I ate it. Like it was just me. I ate the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like I got, so it was just, in that situation, if it's not something to where you want me to, just a bunch of things came up into the whole situation, just where it didn't work out. So
what's the biggest lessons you've learned so far about business ownership or entrepreneurship up to this point?
It ain't easy, that's for sure. Like
I could have told you that a long fucking time ago, bro.
Well,
you working for us and shit. And like a lot of people back in the day that work for us, it's almost like we made it appear almost too easy. Like, oh man, these guys are doing well. They can, you know what I mean? And it's
I watched you guys. I watched your guys' lows and highs, and you know what I mean? I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know it takes work, but I'm a guy that'll work for it. You know what I mean? I've got my work ethic. See, my business is all new. Running a business, that's something that I've never done before. Working, I can work most people under the table.
Yeah.
When it comes to actual labor, get out there, do the job, 18-hour days, whatever it is, I'll throw down with the best of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like knowing how to budget this and do this, or figure out how to put ads out, Google, Facebook, whatever, that's all, it's like brand new stuff. So it's all stuff that I'm trying to figure out. And I've just been trying to do it. I mean, I've got my wife that, helps out. I've got family that shares all this stuff on Facebook, but that's really all the niche is right now, is that's just what I have.
Have you been getting leads off of stuff like
I've
that?
Like jobs off Facebook. I've
in terms of like family or you posting it or whatever it is.
However they see it, like they'll search on like the area St. George yard sale sites or something like.
And you'll post kind of like
I've had people call me to pick them up in the middle of the gorge to save their car because it broke down. He's like, "Well, I found you on Facebook. I need you now." And it's like, "Cool, yeah, I got you." Because I had a tow trailer, like a flatbed tow trailer, and I went down, picked him up, brought him back. You know what I mean? And did this whole little thing, but it worked out for a little bit, but then I sold that because I wasn't using it enough and I needed the money to other places. So I got rid of it. You know what I mean? But
you want my advice?
Sure.
And the reason why I'm saying that or wanting to give it is because there's other people that are going to be listening as well.
For sure.
That can also extract value out of it. Is I really think what, and we talked about it a little bit before we started recording, but if you're going to do 3 different things or 4 different things, we talked about having a DBA that's specific. Right now it's big baller hauler, right? Because originally it was like, hey, we'll haul whatever you have off of your property, which the name doesn't match all of the services that you provide. Right. So that's like That's main issue number one, right?
Right.
So that has to be addressed because you don't want to create confusion in the marketplace about what you have the capabilities of doing. So one, I would create 3 different DBAs or 4 different DBAs or whatever it is, right? Like the window service, the junk removal, whatever else. What else do you do? The junk removal, pressure washing,
moving help. I help. Well,
moving.
That kind of goes coincide with junk removal. Right?
Yeah, moving, junk removal, and the window / pressure, washing type.
And solar panels too.
Solar panels, all of that.
A little bit of everything. Home service,
and we'll pick up your car if you're broke down.
That's what I was doing.
I don't think it's good to spread yourself too thin and be in misalignment with what it is. Which one of those things do you enjoy doing the most? We obviously
probably Windows, man.
Windows. Yeah. Before we came on, we were originally going to do this podcast a couple hours earlier, but he got a job, and had to push it back.
That was a friend though. A friend needed help moving, so that wasn't even like
cut him a homie discount.
That was just helping a friend move that needed to get her stuff out of a house and put in a new one. So it wasn't.
So the advice would be, and again, it's going to take money.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're going to want to make it work, right? Like go all in type, make it work, is continue doing what you're doing, make sales. I would love to have you work over at 60 Day Forever, bro.
Yeah, you're going to keep doing it.
I would love that because, we have a long history. You've always been good to us and we've always been good to you. And you're always welcome back with open arms, as you know, right?
Sales,
you what?
I love sales. I think sales have actually getting back into like on the phones.
Yeah.
Made it easier for me to start going out and talking to people again too.
And like making sales that way.
Doing it that way too. Cause it's like you got more, cause I know I can do it. You know what I mean? But like not doing sales for so long and then even going out, like
it's like there's rusty
doors. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was like more of I'm just going to put flyers out and see what happens. I wasn't ready for the no's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The rejection.
But now I get it all day long. So Monday through Thursday, I get no's all day. So it's like, and that's fine.
When you're down 100 leads, if I was sitting here consulting with you or working with you and it was like, hey man, we're going to have a one-on-one session and we want to try to make the business work. What I would do is, again, I would do the DBAs, get very specific in each one of those niches so people are very clear about what you could do. I mean, obviously, it's all the same entity. It's going to funnel back to Big Baller Holler, right? LLC or whatever. The DBA that you have underneath it, then what I would do is I would work with a professional, in terms of ads, and I would allocate enough money and niche down on each one of those ads separately, and then let the data tell you which business is going to be the most viable. You know what I mean? So it's like, let's say, for instance, you said, okay, I'm going to save up, 10 grand and this is going to be my marketing budget. Like if you really want to like for sure make it work, eventually you have to get your name out there. You got 2 ways to do it. You can stay in the position that you're in and continue to work and do it on the side. And over the course of time, you'll build up some of the repetitive customers, word of mouth, whatever it may be. That's a long, slow burn, right?
Yes, it is.
As you found out, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you open a business and next thing you know, your phone's just ringing off the hook. The hardest thing to do is get leads, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I would run campaigns separately, window cleaning, moving, hauling, and then I would spend the same amount of money on each one of those.
See which one works the best.
And see which one brings you back the biggest return on your investment. Right. And then at that point, you could be like, okay, well, what if I would have took all that money instead of divide it into 3 different niches and I would have put it just on that one? And if you like window cleaning the best, and if that ends up being the one that produces the most revenue and you can get reoccurring clients where you're going to clean their windows monthly or quarterly or whatever it may be, I mean, obviously, property management people would be best.
Oh, yeah. I've dropped cards off for realties, but that was before windows were more of a thing. That was more of junk. You know what I mean? So I've hit a lot of those places for junk removal. You know what I mean? But like I said, everybody's doing junk removal.
Realtors or property management companies?
Both. Property management companies. I've done the realtors group. I'm actually a member of the realtors group over there. I used to go to their meetings every Tuesday morning and talk to people, let them know everything that I do. You know what I mean? Like I do all of this. When you run into a house that's got a bunch of junk and dirty windows, call a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind
of
of
homie up type,
like use me once. I mean, I'll make do. I mean, most of the time when I get somebody that, uses me on a regular basis, they use me on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like, cause I show up and I get the job
Show
done. Like
up
I
on
say,
time
yeah,
and
early, more than less.
Do a good job. That data would be like worth its weight in gold.
For sure.
If you had the information on how much a lead costs, how much it costs to close that lead, because obviously we generate leads a 60-day, right?
Yeah.
Not every lead's going to get closed.
No.
So, you know what I mean? So now we have to factor in, okay, what if it costs $10 to create the lead and it takes 10 leads to get a sale? It costs us $100 in order to actually make a conversion.
Right.
Then we have to pay a sales rep. Then we have to pay fulfillment. We got to pay admin, rent, all that stuff, and make sure that it,
Just worth
actually pans out, right? Yeah. But if you said, hey, I've got 10 window washing leads and I closed 3 of them, and this is the revenue that I can generate from it, or I got 10 leads of junk, but I only closed 1.
Yeah.
But the margins were better over there. Like, it's hard to make decisions if you don't have clear data, right? And so I think that's why people get to the point where they start spreading themselves so thin, saying, hey, I can do anything, because you don't have the data that you need in order to make a great decision on which direction to even head. So it's like, I'll go in all the directions in order to make money right now, right? Yeah. And so that's kind of what you're doing, is you're saying, hey, whatever you need, here's my card, right? Like, I can do this, or this. And to be quite frank with you, some people don't like people that say that they could do everything. They want to find people that, they say riches are in the niches, meaning that you need to niche down, right? So like, me and Coulter have a marketing company, Thrifty Marketing, but we don't market for everybody.
Right.
We market specifically for accounting firms.
Right.
Right. Instead of saying, hey, hire us to do your marketing, anybody and everybody. Now I could speak directly to the individual and say, hey, you don't want to build an accounting firm over the course of like 10 years, slow word of mouth, asking for referrals. Why don't you utilize us to help you get leads in the door? And
you've already done it.
We've already done it before. We already know how to do it. We've already scaled an accounting firm. We've already generated leads for it. It's already a proven system. So therefore, it's like, we're going to niche down and say, this is our target audience. This is who we serve. Now our messaging goes directly to that individual. And so I think it would be super, super valuable. But that's the only problem is like, it just takes money to do that. Yeah. Everything, it seems like, I mean, everything's expensive, bro. As a business owner, you look around the corner and it's like, oh, this needs to be updated. This needs to be renewed, or this license, or this insurance, or that. It's like, you feel like you get nickeled and dimed to death
You kind of do. Slowly you do.
Yeah.
It all happens. But it's not a bad, I mean, it works out, you know what I mean? It's slowly starting to get better, I guess I can say. Like the year that I put, because I've been doing it for a year, right around. So next month's a year.
What? Your own thing?
Just the own thing, yeah. So I've only got a year into it, so it's not like I'm expecting it to, blow up and be perfect. But where I'm at, and learning what I've learned, and now doing what I'm doing now, I'm slowly starting to pick up more headway. You know what I mean? With like some of the bigger buildings, as far as landing contracts with those, and just. But still, it's just Windows is probably going to be your niche, my niche, because it's more consistent. You can get that residual,
Great for rainy days.
Yeah. Well, I'm out there every 3 months anyway, but if they want me to come out, it's just, an extra tack on to it that goes on the agreement that we've already got set aside.
Bill them?
After each one.
It's
just like your bug guy.
Do you keep a card on file, or do you just invoice them?
I would just invoice them, and they can just pay me.
But you ever have a problem chasing people down for money? Is there some people that are kind of slow to pay, and you're like, bruh,
normally that everything happens right then. They'll either Venmo or they'll write me a check, or just, I've had some people just Zelle me over money. I mean, I can take cards too, but once you run that card and then they take their percentage off the top, it's like, I don't like cards. Well, but again,
you could, it's called dual pricing. You familiar with that? How are you taking cards right now? Stripe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Stripe's good to a certain extent,
It works.
It's quick, it's fast. A lot of startups are like, dude, I'm just going to go to Stripe, set it up, unplug in the card, bill it.
It works.
And then they take their 3.5% or 4% or, whatever it ends up being. Cause sometimes they say it's 3.5%, but then you're
Seems
like,
like
man,
more.
the math don't math here. It's
No,
like,
it
what?
does.
Then this little fee, fee, but their processing fees says 3.5%, but then they have their other little fees and it ends up adding up. It's like 5 or 6% or whatever it is, We've had to play that game, but dual pricing is where you've gone to a gas station or a restaurant or a small spot before where they're like, if you use a card, we charge an extra 3%, or if you pay cash, it's this much. Have you seen stuff like that before?
Well, I actually do. Well, I've actually started implementing that myself. I guess I didn't know what it was called. So if they use a card, I charge them a little extra for.
You tell them,
those,
say, hey, if you use a card, I got to charge you 5% or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's more. And if it's cash or whatever, that's the price.
So you don't have to claim it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything still gets claimed. It all goes to the account. But normally, if they write a check, I just deposit it in the account. You know what I mean? And it's still there. But if you use the card, then I just tell them that it's going to be 3% more, 4% more for your card.
Yeah, that's what's in the merchant processing world. It's called dual price. And if it's something that's a couple $100, it makes sense because 5% there's it's $210 instead of $200 or whatever. But if you have a product or service that's like a couple $1,000, it doesn't make as much sense because then you're telling people, it's an extra $100 or $200 or whatever it is, and people are like, come on, bro. So there's certain industries that they can't really get away with it. It just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But then there's other ones that they do that, like that's like their
all the time, their niche.
Bro, like I started playing around in the merchant services game. Started a merchant processing company. Yeah, I've walked away from it based upon some disagreements and things like that. But I got very, very familiar with that game, so to speak, and I would sit there and look at people's credit, some of their statements. And there were people paying $2,000-$3,000 a month just in order to process credit cards. If you're paying $3,000 a month to process credit cards, that's $36,000 a year. So that would be the pitch is, hey, why don't we introduce you to dual pricing? Why don't you bring your processing over here where we'll help you roll that out so that you can put another $36,000. You don't have to change anything in your business. Keep doing what you're doing, but you're making an extra $3,000 a month, and $3,000, that's a big difference to a small business owner.
Yeah, nobody's going to complain about that. Not a business owner, at least.
Like, hey, take that money and go spend it on getting more leads.
Right.
And then now your marketing expense is zero because they're paying for their own processing fees. And so, do you have any questions for me in regards to something that I could help you with?
I mean, you've helped me there. I mean, I do need to knuckle down on a niche, you know what I mean, to figure something out. I mean, we've been talking to that about my wife too. She's my little soundboard for a lot of the stuff that I try to figure out. So
most people that start businesses are very stubborn people, very hard-headed people, and are like, dude, I'm going to make this work. I'm not going to walk away from this thing or whatever. Like, I'm going to figure it out, which is in that case, a strong suit, right? You have to be stubborn in business to a certain extent because it's going to beat the living shit out of you. And you have to keep coming back and be okay getting punched in the face. That's the stubborn part that's
why I'm going to keep going. For you. It'll work out.
I believe it will, but I believe that you can't just keep doing what you're currently doing and then just say it's going to work out. There has to, like, it gets to the point where you get what you tolerate, so to speak, right? And if you tolerate the result that you're currently experiencing, you're always going to get that result. And so if something's going to change, then that means you have to adapt or change your approach to it, right? And most people, when they have a business that's up and running and they're trying to get it to the point where, hey, this is my full-time thing, I'm making good money, I'm going to bring on employees and I'm going to start making money that way. It takes, the hardest thing in business is to invest money in something that is already somewhat struggling and it's not consistent. So you're like, okay, how far do I actually take it? And how deep do I actually go? That's the question that an individual has to answer as a business owner. Like, it's like you've already made investments into different things, and it's like, okay, you know, I'm going to go here for stability in terms of sales, but I'm still going to, you know, pursue this goal and this dream of owning a business and having it be successful. But you're going to have to also utilize the resource of the sales and probably, you know, dump money into it. Dump even
for sure.
more money into it.
I'm going to have
I mean?
to. Yeah.
So
got to make more money to dump into it. And it's coming.
Yeah.
Like, it's already starting to pan out a little bit. So I've already, you know what I mean? It's starting to slowly trickle. So once I can.
What was your stress levels like before, because dude, that's a big thing. Mental health shit, you know, like, bro, it's fucking brutal.
Oh, I know when I started it, I probably wasn't in the right headspace to even start a business. You know what I mean? Like, mentally, like where I was at physically, mentally, like my habits, you know what I mean? There's been a lot of adjusting that's been doing.
What are some of the changes that you've made?
Like, I don't drink. Like, I quit drinking.
So
like,
you
I was
used
a
to
bad
slug it
drinker.
back, or
Oh,
what?
bad. Yeah, and I'm not a good drunk either. So I had to quit that and get back into the gym more. Like, be consistent with that. Like,
yeah, you've lost a lot of weight.
That's a thing that I had to really knuckle down in, because that's just not. That's all of it. Physically, mentally, it's like just keeping yourself committed to doing that. It like makes everything else just seem
better,
so much better.
Like the feeling that you get after going to the gym. Feeling good in your body and mind is very important to try to get to a level of success, because it's like, but it's also easy to drink and do those other things to try to kind of numb the stress and the stuff that's going on mentally. Like, it takes a toll on a human being.
I think that was probably the best
owner.
thing I could have done, though, is to stop that. Yeah. So, I mean, because that's like, it's just clarity, like the peace of mind. I mean, you still get in your head. Like, it would just be nice not to worry about something for a minute. Let's go have a drink.
Yeah.
But it's like, no.
What is it, like not a drop type thing at this point?
No. I'm going on 5 months.
Yeah.
Actually, tomorrow's like 5 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This will be probably the first birthday that I've got coming up next week that I've been sober in probably 20 years.
Wow. That's one of the first steps, is making sure that you have a healthy body and mind to pursue the brutal process.
Yeah, when I started and I invested everything that I did, mentally I wasn't ready for it. You know what I mean? So now that I've done everything, like, mentally, I'm better mentally to go after everything that I need to do and know what I need to do, except for I already wasted a lot of money when I wasn't ready to do what needs to be done. So now I'm playing catch up with what I've already, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah,
it does make sense. It's basically like, hey, I wasn't in the right frame of mind state. I wasn't living the lifestyle. I wasn't having the right habits that was conducive to the outcome that I wanted. So I had to change who I am and some of the habits that I had in order to give myself a higher probability of success at being a business owner.
Yeah. So now my mindset's a lot better. You know what I mean? I'm like more into doing what needs to be done to make the changes, to make things happen. But now I'm to the point where I've used a lot of the money that I had. So now I have to make more money, to invest more money, to do more, you know what I mean? But there's still other ways that I can go out and do things. It's just me putting feet on the ground, you know, meeting people, talking to people.
I think the money that's spent now will be good money that's spent, because you're a new version of yourself, right? Like, if you're a terrible version of yourself trying to spend money to be successful, the outcome is usually not going to be the best, right? The result's not going to be the best. So it's like, yeah, it sucks. But it gave you, thank God that you went through it, and it was brutal enough to wake you up to change some of the habits, because you will be better for your wife. You will be better for your kids. You will, like, for yourself. Like, you have to live in your body and mind. Like, you're stuck with you, bro. You know,
I know, man. That's been a hard one. That's been a hard one. Like, that's been a hard pill to swallow for a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's just the lifestyle that, you know, it was. You know what I mean? So,
have you had to remove people from your life that did you have drinking buddies, or was it just a alone at home type thing?
All of it really. I have my friends. I have, you know, that I would do things with, but there's just more of I just have to be okay being with me.
Yeah.
And that's been the biggest pill to swallow, is trying to figure out who I am, what I want to be.
Yeah.
To make myself happy. That's been like the last year, 2 year process, just trying to figure that out.
I think it's a forever journey.
Oh, it is.
bro.
It is.
Yeah.
See, I got easy in the truck though, because I was gone.
Yeah.
So it was easy just to isolate myself and not care what
Yeah.
everything else is going on. But then you come home and it's like, whoa, bro, like this is a lot. I'm ready to go back out on the road. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not having to deal with it. But then coming home and being home, it was a whole different aspect of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had to get used to the kids, the wife, the responsibilities of the house,
Yeah.
all of it. It wasn't just me going out work, sending money home. You know what I mean? It was being a part of it. So that was a whole transition. And that, for me, I turned into a really bad. I was, you know what I mean? So I went
lot.
downhill, then had to come, and now I'm working on coming back uphill. So
Yeah.
but I'm going up, and it's good. It's coming up. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing the things that I need to do. You know what I mean? To better myself, the family,
So you haven't had to remove people from your life, or have you?
It's not necessarily remove. It's just more of they do their thing and I'm doing mine. You know what I mean? So I'm not necessarily removing. I've got love for a lot of people that are still doing their thing, but they're not in my life on a daily basis. Like that's more of a.
Do you feel like that you were surrounding yourself with people that didn't have the same maybe goals that you had?
Oh yeah, I had my drinking buddies. You know what I mean? It was an easy process to pop a bottle, have a good time, or just stay in the old habits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's more of a I'm okay being at home, being with the family, and not
You get to the point where you actually can't wait to go home, and you kind of. But there's a lot going on. It's very chaotic if you're used to kind of solitude and quiet. Then going into that, it's just kind of like process overload. Like
I'm going from chaos to trying to figure out peace.
Yeah. When you went into the home originally, it felt like chaos.
Oh,
right.
For me, it was because I was isolated for so long,
Yeah.
and then coming back, and then just like kids and wife and life, and that was all chaos, dude.
Yeah.
Trying to get
Your
used to
brain's
that.
trying to process.
Dude, it was a
all.
lot, bro. It was, but it
Yeah.
was fun. I mean, it was good, but it drove me deeper into a little hole that I had to figure out how to get out of. You know what I mean? It was easy just to
what
numb
got you out of that hole? What was the realization that said, dude, I have to change? Was there a low point? Was there,
when I wrecked my truck,
so you were
playing
drinking,
out in the desert? Yeah.
just drinking,
It was
partying,
it was a nice little wake up call. Like I shouldn't have
done
pulled
that.
out of that one.
Yeah. So it was like a bad accident.
It wasn't even bad, but it could have been. It should have been. You know what I mean? I got lucky. Let's just say that God's got me here for a real reason. I'm not wasting it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where
So
I'm
it was that moment that said, hey,
I had to.
Were you just done after
yeah.
that moment?
That was it. Like after like the next day, everything that happened that night, you know what I mean? It was just, that next day was just, I can't.
You were just at a low spot and just
pretty
like,
low.
dude, I got to put my shit together.
Yeah. Like I could have lost everything. Family, life, wife, all of it, kids.
Yeah.
But I don't want that. You know what I mean? I want everything that I've worked really hard to do, whether I know that or not. Like mentally, I had to put a lot of things into check, myself into check, you know what I mean? Try to figure out what I want.
Yeah.
That's going to be better for me and everybody else around me.
Have you been, like, did you start, I know you listen to the podcast, was that kind of here and there? Like when you got
stuck on it,
when you got focused after the accident, do you feel like that
not
you're
even
consuming
your podcast,
different
actually. I put your podcast. Yours is, I haven't listened to it in a while, actually.
Thanks.
I know. That's a dick move of me. But no, I've started going to church, reading the Bible, journaling. You know what I mean? Like more deep
stuff rather than
like
just
the gym every day. Like I try to go every day. I have my mornings. You know what I mean? So 5 days a week. I'm consistent 5 days a week. You know what I mean? That's it. That's
Bruh.
I know I can do better. I've done better. You know what I mean?
Bruh.
I know, but no, just like being more open to the fact that things have to change, and then just making it happen. Like for myself. Like, but yeah, church has turned into a big thing for me. Like I go to church every Sunday. I read my Bible, not as much as I probably should, but more often than I ever did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just little things. Like I journal a lot. Like I find myself, I pull up my little app, and if something like an aha moment for myself, or, I have a good conversation that needs to be like, put it on paper. For me, I write it down, and it sticks a little better, I guess.
Yeah.
Getting things out.
Yeah. Well, there's multiple sensory, it's not just a thought. You're visually seeing it come to life and you're writing it out. So like all your senses are now heightened and you're trying to articulate the thought a little bit more, which actually ingrains it in you, way further. Are you going to the same church that Braden goes to? Braden started going to church and stopped smoking. He's a completely different dude.
He's awesome, bro.
I love it.
Crazy. I love it too.
Isn't it crazy?
It is.
You probably hadn't seen him forever until you came back to work. And then it was like.
The last time I seen him before I seen him at work, I seen him in like an Albertsons. He's like, bro, I found Jesus. And I was like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But like now I see like, because
you could see the
dude, it's crazy. I'm so proud of him. He's
my God.
Yeah, he's doing
it's incredible to see the transformation. I
love seeing people like that though.
When he has color, he looks alive, he looks happy, and it's
living.
Bruh.
That's good.
Yeah, he was stoner of all stoners back in the day, but now he's like
doing things right.
Doing incredible.
That was like one of my big questions even to Coulter before I came back from the floor, because the last floor I wasn't doing, good back then. That was 13, 14 years ago. So that was one thing I asked. I was like, you got a clean floor?
Yeah.
Because back in my day,
doing good.
Back in my day, the floor was a spot, bro.
Yeah.
You were doing all kinds of dumb stuff. And I even told him, I was like, I'm not coming over there if it's like that. Like, I don't want that. Like, I've done really hard. I've worked really hard to not have a lot of things
around.
Like, I don't go hang out to drink. You know what I mean? I keep myself out of it because I'm that guy that hangs out at the barbershop. I'm going to cut my hair.
Yeah.
That's my go-to saying because I have a very addictive personality.
Yeah.
Very addictive. I like to.
All it takes is literally one bad day and you're just like, fuck, bro.
And
if
you really know it's hard in your
environment and it's around and it's easily accessible, then it's just, everybody has the fuck it moments. But if you create an environment in which is
the fuck it is right there,
Yeah, if the fuck it's right there, you're probably going to say fuck it. And, yeah, exactly. So what advice would you give somebody that may be thinking about starting a business?
Don't quit your day job to do it. That's what I did.
Yeah.
No, just, go all in. Go all in, you know what I mean? Do what you...
make the investment.
Make the investment, if you feel like it's going to work. Because, I feel like mine's still going to work. You know what I mean? I'm not giving up on it, but, just plan it out, work through it, make sure you cross your T's, dot your I's. I still had floating letters. So,
well, the lesson that I get from you as well is just because it's difficult doesn't mean you necessarily have to walk away from it and do something completely different. There is a hybrid tactic that you could utilize. It's okay to start something on the side and get it to the point where it has the ability to take over the current income that you currently have. And if you are struggling and it is tough and you're wondering how to pay bills, it's okay to find something that you could go do that takes care of right now while you're building the thing that's going to take care of tomorrow or next year or whatever it is, right? But it takes just a lot of humility and soul searching to say, really, what are my needs right now? And what can I do to keep the dream alive, but also take care of the needs that need to be addressed today, right? And so I'm super proud of you. I do know that. It's the change that you've made. When I started to see you posting about going to the gym and all this stuff, I'm like, man, he's getting after it, dude. Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible to watch, and I'm always a big proponent. That's the weird thing is there's some people that employ people that are they want to kind of hold them down. You know what I mean? Not want to see them leave or go venture out or whatever it is. But I've always been a big proponent of go do it. Go try it. You'll see. You know what I mean? And the reason why is because, one, I think entrepreneurship is one of the best personal development journeys anybody could ever go on, because it's gonna expose you for all of your weaknesses. It's gonna force you to get better, because you can't be successful and be the same person. So it's gonna be hey, is the pain great enough yet for you to actually make a change? And it will force enough pain on your life to where you're gonna have to audit yourself and say, what is it that I could do right now that I have control over that would allow me a higher probability of success, right? And so I'm a big believer in that. We had a video guy work for us, and he kept saying, hey, dude, I'm going to do my own thing. I don't want to work for you forever, blah, blah, blah. He said that for a year. And I finally just went to him and said, bro, it was August. And I said, just so that you know, I'm giving you like a 4-month notice or a 5-month notice. You're done at the end of the year. And the reason why I did that is because it becomes more real. You've talked about it for so long, and it's a dream of yours, and it's something that you want to pursue. But the problem is I'm actually holding you back from this dream that you say that you want by employing you, right? So I basically said, now you have a little bit of a runway to get a couple clients, because I'm not going to allow you to work here after January 1st. Is what I said to him. I said, you're going to be done.
Yeah.
So I would start taking it seriously now.
Right.
And it forced him to go out there and utilize his contacts and his resources and start to kick up business, so that when he made that transition, he was able to do it. You know what I mean? So not only am I a big proponent of people trying to go out and do their own thing, I love seeing other people win and be successful and get their ass handed to them to where they have to get better in order to be deserving of the win. But at the exact same time, it also gives them a different perspective that business ownership is hard. You know, it's like, I'm going to do my own thing. Like, yes, it sounds good. It really, it sounds cool. The result even looks cool. The process isn't cool. It's fucking brutal. So you want this, and you get a certain feeling when you look at this thing, this result that resembles success. So then you say, I want that, but you don't really know what you have to go through to get it till you actually get in the game and you get your ass handed to you. And so business ownership is a very humbling experience. And so
I wouldn't have it any other way, though.
There was one time that I was at such a low, sitting back in my office, and Coulter came in or something like that, and he said something to me. He said something like lucky or something like that, and I looked right at him dead in the eye. I said, bro, I wouldn't wish entrepreneurship on my worst enemy right now, because I was just going through just the thick of it that day. And like at that point, he was still working for us. And every time we hop on calls and stuff, and sometimes he makes a joke, like if he's having a tough day or whatever. And it's like, I wouldn't wish entrepreneurship on anybody, you know, because it's such just a brutal process when you have those bad days, when you've got doubts and you're second guessing everything. I mean, even CBF, when you work, bro, we kept that thing alive for probably 2 or 3 years without a profit. And we did that mainly because of the people that worked there. I mean, when you work for you, I was invested in everybody. I loved everybody.
You were, yeah.
You know, like
you were a good vibe though. Even back then, like you'd walk in the room and you just picked up the room. You know what I mean? Like and Coulter does the same thing. I noticed when he walks in, he goes to every single person and he says,
"That's what's up." That was like my thing. It's like, bro,
it's a personal thing.
I got to say what's up to everybody in the organization before I go back to my office and just.
Yeah, he follows suit on that one because he does that every morning he walks in.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, every morning he walks in, he goes, he hit everybody.
Daps him up.
Yeah.
Let's crush it today, you know. So when he's like, hey, you know, we're going to do this thing or whatever, I'm like, all right, bro, come on in, pal. You be careful what you wish for, you know, type situation. And so, but yeah, I kept that thing alive for a couple years, break even, just because I cared for everybody and I wanted everybody to have a job and everybody else to have an income.
Right.
You know, obviously it got to the point where we transitioned to 60-day credit repair and took the entire company and shifted directions rather than doing business funding stuff to more so credit repair. And it's been a great move for us. And so maybe it was a good thing that I ran it for a couple of years without it being profitable, because we talked about Braden. You can talk about Tremaine. You can talk about Sarah. I mean, there's still a handful of people that are still working there. And, you know, that's the number one thing that we always try to do is, one, show love, two, provide as much opportunities as we possibly can. Right. Because even back in the day in CBF, you couldn't make $2,000, $3,000 a week. You know, and every time that we started making money, when we transitioned over to this, before we paid ourselves, we would say, hey, let's bump commissions. Right. Let's bump commissions. Like, we'll eat last type situation. You know, let's make sure everybody's taken care of, because if everyone's taken care of, then they keep showing up and they'll keep producing and they're okay. And as long as they're okay, I believe on the backside of that eventually we'll be okay. You know,
like it's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't mind working over there. It's nice. Nice little environment. It's fun.
Well, I appreciate you coming in and chopping it up with me, bro.
It's always a good time.
And just so you know, I am always here for you
For sure.
in terms of anything, on the business side of stuff. If you're going to call me crying about something, I ain't got no fucking ear for that. I got my own shit to complain about, but complaining ain't going to do nothing. But if you really get stuck somewhere and you're like, bro, hey, I need a connection. Do you know anybody that does this or that? I'm willing to utilize my contacts or resources or connections to do whatever I possibly can to help you get wherever it is that you're trying to go. I hope that you know that that's genuine from the history that we have.
I do.
And it's not just kind of lip service bullshit. You know what I mean? So, and all the advice that I've given you, if you need to take some time, stack some cash, and you need those contacts, I know people that can help you kind of do those Google ads and segment it out and let the data tell you which one's going to be the best bang for your buck or the best business for you to get to your goals. And so anywho, appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, make sure you rate and review the show. Other than that, keep kicking ass and we'll see you guys next week.